Hey guys, Alvaro here in collaboration with Particle School, and today we're gonna talk about BlurWind. And BlurWind is an particle flow operator developed by Blur Studio, and they developed the spin limit as well and random walk. And they are awesome operators, but we have no material about it online. Like we have nothing about it in Autodesk website and not even in the Orbas website. But we have this option here. With the data operator, if you drag it to the particle view, you can load presets, and inside the presets we have the random walk, BlurWind, spin limit. So you can open one and click on edit data flow, and you can see here how it works. It looks a bit complex, but it's not really. If you take a look here on these three groups here and look it as one group, you have just the same one here. It's like the same operators but with some different names and some different values. And so let's see how it works. I'm gonna delete this one here. And let's drag the BlurWind here. In this case, I have a shape instance with a cool skull here. And this skull have a size of 10. If you take a look on the grid, since each of the grid squares have like 10 units, this skull in this case have almost 10 units, a bit more in fact, it's like 10.8 or something. So let's press 6 to open the particle view, and let's see how it works. The first group here, just say about the icon. It's an arrow and it's pointing to our front. So let's make it point upwards, and let's take a look on the front view. Just remember, you can download this scene on this video description. So you have all this speed float stuff here that you can then you can see our speed here. This speed float is a script, and as you can see here, it's just put the speed value as a float, so the display script can read it. I didn't develop this, it was JohnnyRandom. He's an amazing guy, and he just showed me how to do it. So he showed me, and it's working perfectly. Like if we put a speed here, let's put just very quickly, let's put a speed here and turn off the BlurWind. So you can see that I have 300 speed by default. And let's click on reverse, make it 100, and you can see that it have this speed here, and it's not accelerating or something. In the BlurWind, we have an acceleration. So if we put here 100 of speed, it will start very slowly, and then it will reach the maximum value, which is 100, and it will keep this value forever. So let's make it a bit slower so we don't have to zoom out like that. So yeah. And the viscosity, it doesn't really work without viscosity. So if we make it 0, it kinda multiply this value by this value. So in this case, if you have 0, it doesn't move. So let's make it a very small value to viscosity, so you can see how it works. If you scroll the timeline, you can see that it will take like forever to reach this speed here with a low viscosity. And if we put like a lot of viscosity, it will reach this value very fast. So in like 60 frames, it's already on 25, and in 100, it takes like almost 300 frames to get there. So that's why the viscosity work and speed. we have this spherical option that's very obvious. It's kind of spherical, pointing around everywhere. So I'm not talking about that. And now let's talk about the size effect speed. Now it's very important to know what's the size of your particles. And if we tick this, and you can change all the values and it doesn't really affect your particles movement. But let's keep it in 15 in this case, and it's like this. So the speed you have to put a variation here. So if you put a variation here, it starts working. And if this value is smaller than your particles, it starts going kind of backwards. Like in this case, it's still higher than my particles. But then if I put like 10, you can see that my particle is not like really 10 size, it's a bit bigger. So you can see that it starts going backwards. So let's keep it up to its final size, like around 20. And the fast particle size, it only works when the value is between the particle size. You can see that it doesn't really affect the particle. Since we know that our particles is like 11 size, you put a value like this and it starts affecting the speed of the particles. The same goes to size effects viscosity. You have to have some viscosity here so it makes effect, and then you can change the values here. And let's make it bigger than our particle, and then you can see some difference. It's really useful when you have like a lot of particles, like more than one particles, and the particles have some variation on the size. So let's change this viscosity to 0, and let's make it, let's keep it 0, doesn't matter. And you can, if you low down this slow part value, the bigger particles will start going faster. Let's see what happens here. Okay. And now you can see this small particle is slower than the bigger one. And that's it. That's how the BlurWind works. Thanks for watching. Bye.